never regretted my decision of giving up my personal dream because dreaming with the entire community, I think, is more beautiful. It helps you redefine your dream better, and it really somehow redirected me to what is also better for me. Yun yung sinasabi nila, hindi mo control yung plano ng Diyos sa'yo. And I always believe and love God's plan. I'm Cherrie Atilano. I am known as the founding farmer, president and CEO of AGREA International. And I've been working with the agriculture sector for 25 years. I grew up in a sugarcane farm in Negros Occidental, especially in Silay. So growing up in the farm, it's not easy. And then I lost my father. Namatay yung tatay ko when I was only 3 years old. So I was really raised by a single mom. And I have 4 siblings. Ako yung pinaka-bunso. Siyempre sa sugarcane farm, I think nung una, hindi ko pa naman alam what is child labor or whatsoever, right? But every day, I go to school, but on weekend, everyone who actually, my playmates in the hacienda, I live in Hacienda Bajang, are all working in the sugarcane farm because they need to help their parents to survive, especially during planting season of sugarcane farming. I had this scholarship in Silay Magalona scholarship program. And since wala kaming pera for me to go to school, me and my sister were put to a scholarship center ng CIMAG ng mom ko. And then in that scholarship center, every weekend, we were taught how to cook, how to bake, how to crochet. And then we were also taught how to plant, how to grow vegetables, and also basic of composting. And I was just so fascinated with one book. It says, biointensive gardening. At then, yung sabi ng libro, pag mahirap ka, 100% ng kinikita mo pupunta sa pagkain. Wala ka ng budget sa damit mo, wala ka ng budget sa bahay mo, unless makasave ka, or may kapamilya ka, or may tutulong sa'yo to build it. But then the problem is, pag nakatira ka sa sugarcane farm, for example, sa Negros, which is known na ang gap between the rich and the poor talagang malayo. Kung mayaman ka, talagang mayaman na mayaman. Kung mahirap ka, talagang mahirap ka na mahirap. Ang layo, parang walang masyadong middle class. And then, the book says, if you know how to plant vegetables around your house, may iwasan mo na bumili sa sari-sari store, sa mga tiyangge, ng dilata or processed foods, kung saan yun palaging kinakain ng mga mahirap or mga sakada, mangungutang, lalo na pag off-season. Kasi when you plant sugarcane, 6 months yan, wala kang gagawin halos. Hintayin mo na lang yung karga tapas, where you need to cut and mill the sugar. So this book was really just illustrating na kung marunong ka magtanim ng kamatis, talong, okra, ianihin mo yon, ipatong mo lang sa kanin. May kanin ka na, may ulam ka, isawsaw mo lang sa toyo or suka or asin, ulam na siya. It's a complete meal. And you save 30% ng pera mo. So pwede kang mapaaral mo yung mga anak mo. So ako, parang I think it's a gift as a very young person. But I think I was very intuitive. But at the same time, I always ask questions because I see the social case around me. Halos lahat ng tao wala. It goes to the cycle of poverty na talagang 16 years old, 15 years old, mag-aasawa ulit, mahirap ulit. So that book was really enticing me. Paano ako makatulong? And paano ako, what I learned from the scholarship center, I will teach simple farmers in the farm or kapitbahay ko, kami ng ate ko, gagawa kami ng composting in front of our house to really help people to survive. And then my mom would always tell me na, Cherrie, mag-aral talaga kayo ng mabuti. Kasi kailangan yung tulungan yung mga tao dito sa farm. We have this scholarship program. It's called Negros Occidental Scholarship Program Pagkaon. Pagkaon in Ilonggo means food, pagkain. And in pagkaon, you can apply for a scholar as long as you're, a child, a daughter, a son of a farmer, or live in a farm or in a rural area. Sabi ko, pasok ako dito. So I applied and then I got a scholarship from that. And for me, ito yung gusto ko kasi I don't want to be a doctor, I don't want to be a lawyer. Parang it's not really my calling. I think, the moment I was exposed on the farm, I was exposed to teaching farmers at a very young age, I was exposed to learning it from the scholarship center. That entire influence of my environment really somehow helped me to find my purpose and my passion at a very young age. So I happened to be, attending university in Visayas State University, formerly known as Leyte State University. For me, it's like, how do I enrich myself in terms of knowledge? Because when I was studying, basically agriculture, it's science. And then another one, kung hindi ko naman kaya mag-araro ng kalabaw because it's mabigat or mag-drive ng tractor, which is part of the class in agricultural engineering, I can learn naman the science, the basics I can teach, or I can be a scientist, or I can be an economist, or I can be an agribusiness person, But it really enriched, wow, agriculture pala, it's an entire universe of science. It's an entire universe of feeding people, which contributes to the economy, which contributes to the health, and its entire sector and an industry. Wow, agriculture doesn't limit you to talagang yung magtanim ay di biro, maghapong na kayo ko. We need to change that song actually. Because it's really like, mga bata, ayoko na mag-agriculture, ayoko na maging farming kasi masisira yung likod mo. It's true, it's really backbreaking. But when you're exposed to agriculture, there's so many levels that you can engage yourself. My first company actually was, one of the biggest developers in the Philippines. So I was hired to help, revive the landscape of Bonifacio Global City. When I was doing that, it's beautiful. You're making really, really green places in the city. But at the end of the day, I said, the founder of Gawad Kalinga before was telling me, you're making beautiful places for the rich, and you're an agriculturist, you should be feeding people. I joined Gawad Kalinga after more than a year in my work because that time they're looking for a person who would know food security, who would know agriculture stuff, and they're into housing. And they're really, really good in building housing for the poorest of the poor. And eventually, I was involved in their program called Bayan Anihan, Community Harvest, where, a 1,000 square meter of land could feed 30 families. One family could plant pinakbet mix or sinigang mix. Lahat ng gulay na makikita mo sa pinakbet, you can plant it in a 10 square meter. Tuturuan namin kayo paano siya gawin. But then, eventually, that program was stopped. It's because, GK is really into focus on housing, but the founder had a bigger vision on the Enchanted Farm. That time, I already applied for my Fulbright scholarship in the US. So I said, because in agriculture, you always wanted to have a master's degree, a PhD. And for me, pangarap ko yun eh. I was granted a principal grant. So meaning, it's full allowance all throughout your master's study in the US. And I happened to, to be accepted in very prestigious universities in the US. And so while waiting to go to the US, processing all the requirements, I continued my volunteering work in Gawad Kalinga. And it's It was like a story na now, that time, I lost so many friends. Even my family was asking, why are you giving up a Fulbright scholarship? To help build this Gawad Kalinga Enchanted Farm and to be there. Ano yung future mo dyan? The one thing that actually changed my mind why I stayed there for 4 years, it's because I was talking to a lot of kids in the farm. That time, the farm was only 2 hectares. After 4 years, we made it 36 hectares. And when I was talking to the kids, because I live there, you know, every night I would live with one family. There were 30 families when we started. And then, nakikinig ako sa mga kwento ng mga bata. And sabi ko, anong pangarap niyo sa buhay? So every weekend, we would have an activity. Ano yung mga pangarap mo sa buhay? So yung mga bata minsan, dito lang po kami kasi wala po kami pera pampaaral. Sabi po ng magulang namin, wala kami pera pampaaral. So sabi ko, oh my goodness. Me, I'm like dreaming to be a Fulbrighter. I was dreaming to be in the US. And who am I to leave these little children that didn't know how to dream? Because they're limited how to dream. And doon ko na-realize na, wow, mabuti na lang. My mom, every single day, reminded me, mangarap ka, please. Mangarap ka na hindi lamang sa sarili mo, but mangarap ka para sa maraming tao. And I said to myself, if I will be the big sister for this, you know, young ones, they're 10 years old, 7, 8, I think pwede kong baguhin yung pangarap nila, na lakihan nila yung pangarap nila. So we would do activities with them. I would do storytelling of a doctor's story, a chef's story, a businessman's story, and things like that. We would do activities. I would even teach them proper grooming, proper hygiene. I was so immersed with these children. And after a series of activities, ano na yung pangarap mo? Ate, gusto ko na po pala maging chef. Kasi pwede po magluto sa restaurant at maganda siya. Ate, gusto ko po yung may stethoscope yung leeg ko. Gusto ko po maging doctor. Ate, gusto ko po maging teacher. So nabago mo yung pangarap nila. So I said, as we change the perspective of their parents to be very, very good farmers, these children are also becoming a dreamer. They're dreaming big. But then if I say na, by the way mag-iiwan ko na kayo kasi aalis na ako in 2 months, parang hindi ko kaya. Hindi ko kaya as a human being. Hindi ko kaya as a Filipino. For that 2 months, I'm getting emotional to this kasi it's really going, you know, it's like a flashback of my decision making. You know, at the end of the day, Cherrie, it's you and, you know, in front of a mirror, would you be proud of your choices? Would you be proud of who you are as Filipino? But more than that, kahit hindi na maging Filipino, na maging proud ka, would you be proud yourself as a human being? That 2 months, grabe yung stress. Kasi it's such a struggle of, am I going to give up my personal dream to get, you know, higher in my achievements and achieve more? Or am I going to help these children? There were that time 48 of them in front of me, having more dreams and somehow, you know, dreaming for the better for themselves. I don't know. I will not be in their lives all throughout, you know. But if I'm given a chance to stay, how can I help them? Of course, I need to inform Fulbright. I'm not going to receive your scholarship. And when I explained myself, sabi nila sa akin, Cherrie, this is the very essence of Fulbright. We send people to the US to enrich themselves so that they will go back to serve the country. And here you are, you're enriching yourselves to dream with the community and already you're serving the country. And yung pinakamasarap nun, some of those children that actually we help send to school, hanggang ngayon, they always text me, Ate, mentor ka talaga namin. Ate, thank you sa pagdala sa akin sa school. This is a very humbling experience, but at the same time, you know, when I see these kids ngayon, some of them, they work na, and some of them are abroad. And one of the kids, last time I was in Paris, he's now a photographer in Paris, and he shoot my photo. So, and then, you know, when we were talking, we were eating, sabi niya, ate, ako na magbayad nito, ha-treat ko na sa'yo. Parang, what? Nakita lang kita dati sa ilalim ng manggahan. And then, nagaduyan. And then now, you're treating me a meal in Paris. It's because, you know, you're telling me, kung hindi po dahil sa tiwala niyo dati sa akin, at hindi tayo nagkakilala, wala po ako ngayon dito. Nagpursigi po talaga ako. I was invited to be one of the 40 youth leaders by the World Economic Forum, tawag doon Global Shapers, all over the world to meet Pope Francis. So alam mo yung nagmama si Pope dyan, tapos nandun kami, tapos we had the opportunity to really explore the Vatican. And the Pope in one of the gatherings, I really remember the Pope said, capitalize on your passion. So whatever you're passionate about, capitalize on it. So after that, I'm very reflective all the time. I always write my journal. And then I said, what does it mean to capitalize on your passion? And that time, you know, Gawad Kalinga, Enchanted Farm, I was one of the social entrepreneurs, you would say, or management team in the farm. I was the main agriculturist, and of course it's beautiful. You work with great people there in the farm. But sometimes you will feel that it's another chapter of your life. And sabi ko, yung Pilipinas is hindi lang nandun sa Bulacan. Philippines is bigger. So we started Agreya. I'm the founding farmer because I started it with somehow my adopted parents. Si very famous interior designer, Ivy Mario. I really want to mention her because she's the first one who believed in me on what I want to do also. And then her husband, I called her Daddy Yong Nieva. And then he said, Cherrie, pumunta tayo sa Marinduque para you can start something bigger, an island or a Philippines, of what you want to do. So we went to Marinduque. I was sharing to them what the Pope said, capitalize on your passion. So we started together Agreya. So Agreya is basically agriculture plus Gaia, Mother Earth in Greek. So how do you work with agriculture, food production, with respect to environment? That you don't deplete the environment, you don't destroy the environment, but they're best friends. Because most of the time, magkaaway yung agrikultura at yung environment. The more you produce food, the more you destroy the environment. But how can you do something that they're in harmony? So, with all of our other friends, we coined it the ecology of dignity. How do you build an ecology that dignifies our food producers, dignifies the consumers, dignifies the people in the supply chain, and more importantly, dignifies our ecology and our economy, our environment? You know na ang dami-dami nating lupa, ang dami-dami nating magsasaka at mangingisda. Bakit kailangan nating hindi ito tututukan? At bakit iniiwan natin yung ating mga isla? You know, the beautiful islands that we have. At dito tayo nagsisikipan sa Manila.
And we started in the island of Marinduque because it's such a perfect spot. It's the heart of the Philippines, and it's 86% agricultural, where a lot of people here are actually fishers and farmers.
So Marinduque also, it's like a microcosm. It's very small, 250,000 people, 6 towns. It's like a mini government, mini Philippines. So if you start whatever we can do there in the next few years, everything will be replicable. How do we work with the government? How do we work with the private sector present in the island? But more importantly, how do we listen and let the people, especially the farming and the fishing communities, participate in changing their lives, in creating this one island economy that sabi namin, if there's no hunger, no waste, lahat ng waste nare-recycle, lahat ng waste are put back into the soil, and then zero insufficiency. Walang nagugutom, walang naghihirap. It's really a bounty.
Meron po kaming radish, pichay, carrots, malaking-malaki nga pong naitulong tulad ng nakakaraang bagyo. Hindi po yan nasisira ng bagyo.
So, it's really difficult to do because who said one island economy? And how do you replicate it in 7,000 islands? Of course, but so far we're 8 years now and it's really working well. My God, this is such a very beautiful vision. Let's put ourselves more than 100% to make this happen. No matter how much challenges, no matter how much difficulties we went through, I think we're doing it better. If, sometimes people would say like, wow, Cherrie has a very perfect life. I think you just live and make the imperfections perfect, right? But I have a very loving family. I love what I do. I have very, very good team in Agreya. And the challenges that I've been going through, of course, it's like, paano mo to maging sustainable? Saan ka makahanap ng pera to help more farmers? Right now, we're trying to help 30,000 smallholder farmers in the Philippines. So every day, hindi ka dapat panghinaan ng loob. So what keeps me going, kung ano yung malalim na pinanghuhugutan nito, it's because, this is not only the thing that I'm passionate about. I really feel this is my purpose of being. Why every single day I'm grateful. Because no matter the challenges, I encounter along the way, I'm still so grateful. It's because I'm given this job that it's not only a job. It's like a mission that you need to do. Siyempre tao ka lang naman, no? Siyempre, I'm a human being. Physically, you feel the exhaustion. But sometimes, sabi natin, di ba? The spirit is willing, the body is not. Napapagod ka rin. Pwede namang mapagod. Kasi hindi naman tayo machine. Machine nga, nasisira. Pwedeng mapagod. Pero, pag napagod ka, pwede namang magpahinga. So, kailangan lang magpahinga. Pero, wag dapat mag-stop. Kasi kailangan pa tayo ng maraming tao. And kailangan pa tayo ng Pilipinas. And of course, the way we could contribute to the world na tayo mga Pilipino may kakayahan din pala to dream not only for ourselves, but for so many people around us.